começar, a gente vai ter um especialista aqui em marketing digital, SEO, que tem influência global, tá? Como a palestra vai ser em inglês, eu vou mudar o idioma para chamar ele, tá bom? Vamos lá. I'd like to invite to the stage one of the brightest minds of digital marketing. Please welcome Neil Patel. Neil, the floor is yours.
Hello, how are you guys all doing today? So today, we're going to be talking about attention and retention, the modern marketing assets that all businesses need to have. So first off, my name is Neil Patel. I'm the co-founder of an ad agency called NP Digital. We're a global agency all over the world, including Brazil. Worked with a lot of big companies over the years. And the reason I break that down, as well as the number of employees, clients, and awards, is today, when I talk about attention and retention, it's coming from a place of implementing these in customers across the world and including Brazil. So we know what's working and what's not. If you take some of these strategies and implement them, you'll be much better off. And we're using these strategies for companies like Amazon, Mitsubishi, Tata, Louis Vuitton, and the list goes on and on. So in Brazil, we have 150 plus people. We work with 20 plus enterprises, and we're seeing a lot of data on what's working in Brazil and what's not. So, first off, here's some examples of companies in Brazil that we're implementing it. So let's go over attention and behavior. The cost of acquiring attention has drastically increased in the past 2 decades. And you can see that here. This is the cost of advertising. It's gone up. And it's continually rising, both digital and social media. But here's where it gets interesting. Now look at the data just for Brazil. Brazil is following this trend to acquire more and more people in Brazil. You have to end up spending more and more money these days. And we're not just seeing that in Brazil, we're seeing it globally throughout all our offices. The cost to acquire a user is continually increasing. So if attention becomes more and more expensive everywhere, why? Why is it costing more? Well, first off, there are 4.6 plus billion pieces of content that are being published each and every single day. Think about that for a minute. 4.6 billion. That means when you publish content, how is yours going to stand out? That's why a lot of content gets no engagement. Even when it comes to Google, with our Uber Says tool and Answer the Public tool, we track over 7 billion keywords. And we track literally hundreds of millions of websites that are ranking on Google each and every single month. And what we found is 94.29% of the web pages in the last 30 days got no traffic from Google. 0 visitors. So why would you just keep creating content when no one's going to view it? And same with social media. In the last 30 days, we analyzed 5,204,391 social media posts. 59.4% of them had no engagement. No likes, no shares, nor comments. That's a lot of wasted content created. And it's getting worse with AI. When we surveyed a little bit more than 1,000 marketers, majority of them are using AI to create their content. If you're using AI to create your content, you're just creating more regurgitated information, because the way AI works is it scrapes the web, takes everything that it's seen in the past to create something new. But that new piece of content is just based on old information. And people are struggling to tell if the content's created by AI or if it's created by humans. And TikTok has really changed how we view content. Microsoft did a study and they found that humans have a shorter attention span than a goldfish. That means a goldfish is more likely to pay attention to something longer than you will. And our attention span is getting worse and worse because all we're doing is going on Instagram and TikTok and just going next video, next video, next video. It got so bad that I had to take away phones from my children. My children are no longer allowed to use a phone or an iPad or a computer. And the other thing that we're seeing is we're all getting used to ads. 86% of people tend to ignore banners. The first banner ad on the internet had over a 40% click rate. That means if 100 people saw it, at least 40 people were clicking on that ad. Now, if 100 people see your banner, you're lucky if one person clicks on it. You're very rare to get one. You're more likely if 1,000 people see it, maybe you'll get one click. So let's talk about the new attention economy. When we think about what's happening in this world, people are spending a lot of time on things like the internet. 9 hours and 13 minutes. The internet gets the most attention out of any place. There's music, there's radio, there's social media. People are everywhere. There's television. But television these days, a lot of us are just watching Netflix. And when you really look at it and how Brazilians are spending time, 5 hours and 19 minutes on their phone. The phone is more powerful than the computer. If your website, your app, your business, people can't make purchases on your phone, you're going to end up losing a lot of business. You got to make sure that you're solving those problems. So now let's talk about the new attention economy explained. It's really 3 different buckets: the product, the currency, and the marketplace. And we're going to first start off with the product. The product is pretty much what you're selling. And businesses are continually fighting to get that attention. It's continually shrinking and harder to get that attention because everyone is fighting for the same attention. You have competitors. Everyone has competitors. Your product needs to be better. If it's not better, you're going to end up losing. And attention is not just gained, it's earned. See, because there's 24 hours a day, 1,440 minutes, 86,000 seconds. You're fighting for that attention, not just with other companies, but people's time. They sleep, they eat, they go to work, they hang out with their family, their friends, their significant other. If you can't earn that attention, you're going to lose. In essence, don't expect people to give you attention. You got to give them a reason. If you don't have that reason, you're not going to earn it. The next one is the currency. This is the content that you're creating. The content allows you to get the traction, the eyeballs. But content's changing. It used to be people wanted really long content. Now they want shorter content, not just in videos, but even in text. Look at the different industries here. People value content that gets to the point quicker versus content that takes a long time to get the message out. And if the content out there is just the same type of content that everyone else is using, you're not going to get the most engagement. Short form videos, long form videos, interviews like podcasts or experts talks like this, it's the stuff that's gathering the attention. That's where most of the content should be spent. Most of your time should be spent creating that kind of content. Now, if you want to create text-based content, it's in the other category. There's two main types of text-based content that do extremely well. The first is how-to. These are like those how-to articles. And the second one is listicles. The top 10 cell phones. The top 10 credit cards. Top 10 toaster ovens. Top 10 toothbrushes. These are examples of listicles. You should also consider creating videos. And when you're creating videos, they don't need to be fancy. You don't need to pay for tons of editing. You just need to go out there and create the videos from your phone. Seriously, take your phone, record yourself, and you can post it online. That's considered a lo-fi content. When we looked at the content that generated the most amount of views on the social web, it was the content where people just took out their phone and started talking into it and they published it. No to little editing, and that's it. People feel it's more authentic. They can relate to it. That's the key with good content. There's another type of content that I also want you to create. It's podcasting. It's booming in Brazil. Here's an interesting stat for you. There's roughly one podcast for every 1,577 people in this world, while there's roughly one blog for every 7 people in this world. Blogging is competitive. It's a saturated market. It doesn't mean you shouldn't blog. Blogging's still good. But there's a big, wide open opportunity for podcasting. And if you create a podcast, you'll naturally get a lot of views. Now, the third bucket is the marketplace, the social media, the engines, the platforms. A lot of people are like, Neil, social media. Not everyone's on it. Yes, they are. Look at the different age groups and how much time they're spending on social media. These people are your ideal buyers. Even your parents are starting to use TikTok. These platforms are where it's at. That's where the attention is. If you're not on there, you're going to lose out on a lot of attention. Another one is search engines. You can't ignore them. A lot of people talk about search engines like Google and how many people use Google anymore? Isn't ChatGPT going to replace it? Not really. There's 8.5 billion searches a day on Google. Think about that number, 8.5 billion searches. I know a lot of you guys are taking pictures of all the slides. If you guys want the charts and the slides, you can just email Saulo, SAULO, @neilpatel.com, and he'll send them to you. Just tell him you want the slides. And with the 8.5 billion searches a day, roughly 1.2 billion of them, 15%, are brand new searches that have never happened before on these platforms. That's 15% of the people searching every single day are typing in queries that have never been searched for on Google since they were born. That's kind of crazy. And roughly 680 million of the searches are questions. People asking Google a question, looking for an answer, such as, what's the weather in Sao Paulo? The weather always says sunny, but then it just starts raining. Sometimes the answers are off. But it's good. So don't forget about search engines because it's an important part. And then you got the customer journey, retention. retention is super important. If you get people and you can't retain them and get them to keep coming back and keep buying, you're going to end up losing. The longer they hold their attention, the more influence you have. You need to think about how you can get people's attention for a longer period of time, because that increases retention. And I'm going to share that with you today. So, understanding how attention flows through a customer journey and brands will help enable you to retain these people more and more. And I'm going to give you a prime example of this. It's a lot of stats and data, but it'll help you. So, we looked at how consumers discover new brands in today's world. When we look at the stats in the chart, ads on websites are the biggest, then branded websites, then social media ads and TV ads. This is where the awareness is. This is where you need to be. You can't take these channels for granted. And when evaluating brands, if you look at where they go for reliable information, a lot of them are saying they're going to places like social media, or they're looking at reviews, or they're looking at search engines. These are all very super important. If you're not going out there and being in these places, people won't know to trust you. They won't convert as well. And people are looking for beyond price and convenience for purchases. When we look at some of the main things that are causing people to buy, it's not just price and convenience. Yes, those are important, but people want free delivery, coupons, discounts, loyalty points, simple online checkout. They want amazing user reviews, ideally interest-free payments. These all affect if people are going to be buying from you. Sometimes you actually make more money charging more for the product and giving away shipping for free than charging for shipping. We've done a lot of tests in this in Brazil, and typically if you charge a little bit more for your product but then make shipping for free, you make more money than if you charge for the product and then charge for shipping. But this is where it gets really interesting. When we ask the Brazilian audience about where they see ads, a lot of people are saying places like YouTube or social media. But even though search engines is only 19%, the amazing thing is it's only 19% because people don't perceive a lot of the ads on search engines as ads. They see it as organic, even though companies are spending money. So don't just look at the top places, look at the places that are lower where people may not think they're an ad because the conversions tend to be higher. This is why marketing on search engines typically converts better than social media. And you gotta make sure you choose your placement wisely. This is data provided by 336 advertising agencies. This is what's working right now in Brazil. It's kind of crazy to think about. The possibilities are really endless with display, social, video, search. It's all super effective. And if you're trying to target Gen Zers, a lot of them don't mind advertising. It's not a big deal, especially if the content helps them. Especially if the content also helps them find the product that they're looking for. You know how many Gen Zers buy products because of what they see on TikTok? A lot of them buy just because of a video. Even me, I was watching a TikTok video and someone's like, look at this chocolate cake that I made in 60 seconds. And I was like, oh my God, I want to learn how to cook. So then I bought all the stuff that they showed me on TikTok. And then I realized this is not going to take me 1 or 2 minutes. It's going to take me 40, 50 minutes. And then I kind of didn't cook the cake. I was over it. Instead, I bought a cake through iFood. It was easier. So now let's go over the laws of attention and retention. These are the laws that are going to help you win, and I'll give you examples of companies that are doing this today. Law number 1, reduce. Reduce complexity. Make things simple. Here's an example of a business, Dr. Consulta. You guys have seen it everywhere here in Brazil. They make things really simple. Look at that waiting room. Look at how they have monitors. Look at how they do lines. Think about your website. Is it that usable, or did you make things a little too complex? Because if you make things too complex, you're going to lose a lot of people. And if you look at this company, they did extremely well simplifying and reducing complexity, not just for their services, but for patients. It's about the whole experience. See, when people think about complexity and making things simpler, they just think, oh, let me make it easier for them to purchase. It's not just purchasing. What is the overall experience? After they buy your product, was it very simple and easy for them to get value? If so, they're more likely to recommend it to other friends and come back and buy again. If it's not, they're less likely to come back over and over time. So remember, when you're reducing friction, your websites, your apps, your product flows all need to be reduced and make more simple. But at the same time, the experience after they buy your product or service needs to also be amazing, and the complexity needs to be reduced, and that will help you get more sales in the long run. 2, organize. You got to prioritize where you want to give attention. You got to structure your content so it's clear. So there's this company called Todos, and they have this event each year. A lot of people go there to buy their software products. When you go there, they have a lot of screens and different products in different areas. They simplify the buying of these products. That simplification makes it easy for people to get what they want. Another example of this, if you go to the neilpatel.com blog in Portuguese, it'll ask you a question. What do you want to learn today? You want to learn about e-commerce marketing, SEO, social media marketing, paid advertising. And then from there, you can just go and click that button, and it'll filter all the content and make it simple and give you what you want to learn right then and there. That, in and of itself, will help you generate more retention to people continually coming back to your business and website. You want to structure your data in a very simple, organized way. This helped this company grow and become publicly traded here in Brazil. The model works. People overcomplicate things too much. Like if your house is in clutter, it's hard to get around and get things done and be proactive. Same with your workspace. If your desk is really messy, or your job, everything is chaotic in the company, it's hard to get stuff done. This is why you need to organize. 3, label. A great example of this is iFood. If you go through their app, you can clearly see what's labeled. You can easily find what you're looking for. You can see promotions and discounts, different types of food, depending on how expensive or affordable it is. This is how you want to do things. It's made them one of the most popular apps in Brazil. If you don't believe me, just look at this stat. 2.8 million orders per day. 2.8 million. That's a lot. If their app was hard to use, do you think that many people would end up using it? No. You gotta make things easy. You gotta label it. Make it dumb so that way I can understand, my children can understand, anyone can understand. Number 4, play. You gotta make marketing fun. It shouldn't be boring. Your products and services can be fun. For example, I was dealing with a company and they sold life insurance for people who are about to die or are planning for when they die. They'd be like, oh, this isn't fun, this isn't sexy. No one wants to market life insurance. I created an article for them that went viral on the internet. 19 things you did not know about death. It went viral because most people didn't know this, but did you know when someone passes away in front of you, your loved one, and when you talk to them, they can still hear you for a few extra seconds even when you think they're dead. It's kind of crazy. But that content went viral. I had a lot of interesting stats like that. Did you know more people die from taking a selfie than a shark attack each year? Because a lot of times people are taking a selfie and then boom, a bus runs them over. Don't be that person that gets run over by a bus. It's safer to swim in the ocean with sharks than it is to take a selfie. Kind of crazy to think about. But if you look at this company here, look at them. They're using AI and graphics to really innovate and make things more playful. They're having fun with their marketing. It's not the same boring old information over and over again. They have some excitement, and it's worked for them. If you look at this company, Boticario, they've done really well with their franchise model, and they got millions of views and impressions because of a lot of A, their products, but B, their marketing is very playful. And it's done exceptionally well, this playful kind of marketing, to attract Generation Z. If you're really looking to attract Generation Z, they like a lot of this hip, young, playful type of marketing. They don't want the same old, boring stuff. So consider doing something more playful. It doesn't have to be for all your marketing, but it could be for a portion of it. The portion that's targeting Generation Z. Then we have focus. Focus is very important. One day, Bill Gates and Warren Buffett, they were sitting next to each other. And someone asked them a question. They said, what's the number one thing that has led to your success? And they asked him to write it down on a piece of paper. Bill Gates and Warren Buffett were not talking to each other. They were sitting next to each other, but they didn't know what the other person was going to say. Anyone want to guess what they wrote down on that piece of paper? Focus. They both wrote focus. Whether it's with your marketing or your business or your products, focus in and you'll see your retention improve and your business grow faster. Here's an example of a chocolate company. They have really intriguing designs, but they have focus. They're not trying to sell 1 million products. They're trying to make their products amazing and focus and do one thing exceptionally well. This playbook has worked time and time again. It's nothing crazy. At my ad agency, NP Digital, we do digital marketing, SEO, social media, online, email, conversion optimization, CTV. We don't run billboard ads. We don't run television ads. We focus on digital because that's what we're good at. You don't have to do everything. Pick a few things or one thing and do them exceptionally well before you do more things. Microsoft was first an operating system. Once they got that down right, then they started creating things like Word, PowerPoint, then servers, Azure Cloud. They didn't just go there and say, hey, we're going to go and do everything. Instead, they did one thing really well. And if you look at this company, they have clean, elegant, minimalistic chocolate. It's done really well for the founders and the business. It's what helped them retain their customers, not only get attention. They got attention in chocolate market, but they retained their customers and they kept getting them back to buy more and more. Next, people don't want errors. You want 0 errors within your business, within your marketing, within your user flows. Imagine having an app and getting a car, a rental car, or buying a product. You get an error on the checkout. How do you know if they charge you? How do you know if they did not? If they didn't charge you, that's okay, but if they charge you and you got the error and you didn't know when you buy again, you're pissed off because you just spent tons of money doing the same thing 2-3 times. I'll give you a great example of this. I was at a supermarket in America. I bought a gift card for $500. A lot of money. The lady said, it didn't go through. You got to buy it again. She charged my credit card. I said, okay, then try again. Try a different credit card. She tried again. Credit card did not go through. I'm like, what's wrong? How is it that my credit card is not going through? So then she tried the third time. She said, it's not going through. I walked away with no gift cards. 3 days later, I checked my bank account. I lost $1,500 and no gift cards. The error was in her computer. Her computer was charging my credit cards, but it wasn't putting the money on the gift card. That was the error. The error wasn't that my credit card was not going through. So then I go back to the store and she said, no. I'm like, look at the bills. I didn't get any gift cards. She said, oh, I don't know. I didn't do this. I'm like, it was you. She's like, I deal with thousands of people every single day at the grocery store. I don't remember you. I lost $1,500 because of human error. No one wants error from your product, your website, or anything. By striving for flawless user experience, Lokizai was able to avoid frustration and keep attention engaged throughout the whole rental process. The key is no errors. People don't want errors. 7, meaning. From noise, there's a lot of noise out there, but meaning really can help you stand out. For example, there's a company that's known globally for meaning named Tom Shoes. You buy a shoe, they give away 1 shoe for free, a non-profit. There's another company here in Brazil that does a really good job with meaning. Casa Reserva. I realized yesterday my Portuguese is not good. I went to this ice cream place called Boca de Pepe. Or Bacio de Latte. Same thing. I had the amazing ice cream, but I got the name wrong. But it's really good ice cream. If you haven't had it, you should try it. It's a Brazilian company. Best ice cream in the world. My friend came to America, Los Angeles. I took him to the best ice cream store in this world. The same one. And I told him, this is Italian ice cream company. It's the best in the world. And then he's like, no, this is Brazilian. And then he was right. And then when I came to Brazil this time, he showed me the same ice cream tastes the same. But if you look at this company, Casa de Reserva, Reserver, Reserverha, Resefa. I got it. They had meaning, and they do really well. Even though I don't know how to pronounce them, I did look up every single company to find good examples in Brazil, but my pronunciation is bad. 8, transparency. Here in Brazil, everyone wants transparencies. We want to know what's in the products. No one wants products that are bad for us. People want to know how they're made. Brazil has something amazing that the rest of the world does not have. The Amazon rainforest. I know it's in some other countries as well, but a large chunk is in Brazil. The amount of oxygen Brazil produces on an annual basis is crazy. It's ridiculous to that one rainforest, but it consumes it all as well. Transparency is important. What if a product is tearing down the rainforest? That's devastating to the future generations in the world in Brazil. Whether it's with cleaning products or pharmaceutical products or with beauty products. It's all important. Natura is a great example of a company that builds trust and has a reputation for that. See, my pronunciation on Natura was perfect. That one's easy. Next, you have the now. People want things now. You know, in America, Amazon is popular because some days you buy and you can get the product the same day. Not the case in Brazil. Mercado Libre can give you things now, right? That's why they're not popular and Amazon's not popular in Brazil. There's another company that's really popular in Brazil called OLX. They're amazing. It's classified listing. You want to find something, you can get it right then and there. It's a great example. And plus, you can get it within your local community and you can get good prices. They do a great example of satisfying the now. Another example is difference. People want companies to make a difference on the world, future generations. Brands that make a difference are remarkable. If you can't make a difference, you're not going to be as better off. And you can use differentiation within your marketing as well. You gotta have a bold, unique approach that resonates with other people, even if others would not dare to copy you. Look, good marketing stands out. Great marketing doesn't even look like marketing. Your goal isn't to create good marketing. It's to be so remarkable that people don't even think you're marketing. I appreciate your time. Thank you very much. If you ever need help from my Brazil team, you can scan the QR code to book a call. Thank you for coming today. Appreciate it.